All right, guys, so I actually wanted to look at a couple different examples from 4.5 that we didn't get to talk about on Wednesday in class. Just something that I think might help you study for the exam on Monday. So just a couple different types of examples that I wanted to see. Let's start here with example number 26 from your textbook, which will be on page 318 of your textbook. So this one is saying, a poll pertaining to educational goals had the following footnote based on the sample of 2014 teenagers. The margin of error is plus or minus 2 percentage points. Find the level of confidence of the poll. Okay, so basically they're asking us to find the level of confidence here, which means we know the margin of error, we know our sample size, which is 2014 teenagers. So based on that information, can we figure out if this was a 85% confidence level, 90%, 95%, or somewhere in between? So we're just basically trying to figure out what that level of confidence is. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we can find the answer to this question. Okay, so they are telling us in number 26 that we have a sample size of 2014 teenagers. They're also telling us that the margin of error is plus or minus 2%, which of course we will write that as a decimal of 0.02. Now to figure out the confidence level for this poll, let's start out with the equation that we know. So margin of error is z sub alpha divided by 2, and that is divided by 2 times square root of n. So let's look at what information we have. We know our margin of error, which will be 0.02. We do not know our z value, so let's leave it as it is. 2 times, we know that our sample size is 2014 students, so we'll go ahead and put that in. Now, obviously, we are trying to figure out what this z alpha sub 2 is, so we need to isolate that, which means we need to get rid of this denominator. So what I'm actually going to do is go ahead and multiply this denominator on both sides of our equation. So on the right-hand side, they will cancel out, leaving us behind with z alpha over 2, and then we are, of course, multiplying 2 times square root of 2014 times 0.02. So let's see what this answer will come out to be. So we are taking 2 times the square root of 2014 and multiplying that by 0.02. And if you can see this, it's coming out to be 1.795, right? So let me get rid of this guy here. And your z sub alpha over 2 is coming out to be approximately 1.795. Now we know this is a z-score, which means our z-scores are only going to be in 2 decimal places. So let's round this to 2 decimal places. It will become 1.80. Now we will need to go to Appendix F in our textbook and try and figure out what the percentage value or the area is going to be associated with 1.80. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So let's see what that z-score of 1.80 will give us. So this is your body table. This one looks a little bit different than the one in your textbook, but obviously you can see it's very similar to that. So we need to go down to 1.8, so that's going to be on my next page. There we go, 1.8, and then 0, which means we would be looking at this first number right here because that's my 0 right at the top. So 1.80 is giving me a value of 0.80. 4641. So right here, this value, 4641. Okay, now let's go back to our calculation. Okay, so from the Appendix F body table for standard normal distribution, we came up with 1.40 being associated with 0.4641, which represents alpha over 2. So of course, we are interested in figuring out what alpha is going to be because that's what gives us our confidence interval, which means I need to go ahead and multiply both sides of my equation here with 2, and that will of course give us, and again, just to show you here really quickly, we are going to do 2 times 0.4641, which of course ends up giving us 0.9282. So 0.9282 comes out to be 92.82%, and this will be our level of confidence. So just to kind of recap this problem, they were telling us that we had a sample size of 2014 teenagers. They're telling us the margin of error was plus or minus 2%, which of course in decimal is 0.02. Using our margin of error equation here, which is this guy right here, we have the margin of error given to us, we have the sample size given to us, so you can see we went ahead and substituted for those values in our equation, leaving the z sub alpha over 2 as it is. Now I got rid of my denominator by multiplying it on both sides of my equation. It cancels out on the right-hand side. Go ahead and multiply everything on the left-hand side, so that ended up giving us, and this is a rounded, a shortened answer, I guess, 1.795. We know z-scores are only going up to 2 decimal places, so that's why we round this number to 1.80, which gave us the z-score. Going back to our Appendix F over here, so you need to use the Appendix F at this point to come up with this number, 0.4641, and that represents this sub alpha over 2 value. So to get rid of that denominator of 2, we went ahead and multiplied both sides of our equation by 2, which of course gives us the alpha, and this becomes 0.9282. Convert that into a percent, and we have a confidence interval of 92.82%. Okay, all right, so that was example 26.